Welcome to the You Are It podcast. My name is Alejandra Orozco. I am a social science researcher and an energy healer. You Are It has been created to support you in expanding your perception of reality. You are loved and absolutely deserving simply because you are, not because of what you have accomplished. Join me and be ready to transform your beliefs and approaches as you enter the flow of becoming one with your highest good and your highest purpose. Here we are in episode 33 of You Are It, all at once. And I feel like today I will be doing things with a twist, a little different. I feel called to look back, but just at this season, because there is something that has been happening here that I did not plan. And I trust it is an interesting doorway into what we are going to explore today. Let's think about where we started this season. In the first episode of the season, I say to you, you don't have to believe me. Just notice if it resonates. That was the invitation. And what was I really saying? I was saying, don't look outside for the authority. Don't wait for me, or a book, or a teacher to confirm what is real. Your inner response is the instrument. That your guidance comes from within. We shifted the compass from out there to in here. Then in episode 2, what is here before we call it, we went deeper. We turned the lens around and we began to notice awareness itself, the one who is doing the noticing. And something happens when you do that, when the observer turns towards itself. Because awareness doesn't arrive from somewhere. It doesn't come and go. It simply is. It was always already here. And then, last episode, we explored the world as mirror. The idea that this reality and the awareness you connect to is you, that the world doesn't happen to you. It moves through you, as within, so without. And then recollections of teachings by Dr. David Hawkins on the nature of reality collided with all that has been shared in this season, making my intellectual understanding on cause and effect to feel wobblier than ever. The distance between inside and outside is starting to collapse. So now, today I want to name what has been quietly building in this flow of episodes. What I am beginning to see about non-causality. And I am in such a state of awe. I did not sit down at the beginning of this season and design this sequence. Each episode arrived as an inspired idea that felt like a perfect fit. And then the next one came, and then the next. These episodes have not been following each other. They have been revealing each other. My feeling is that this is a demonstration of non-causality. You Are It, Season 3, has been living non-causality, while building understanding towards naming it and articulating it. I know, I sound a bit crazy or way out there, isn't it? So let's reduce the speed and explore what is non-causality. And this is where this teaching has to meet reality, not bypass it. I will draw primarily on the insights shared by Dr. David Hawkins, because his work in the book Power versus Force gives us a framework that is both rigorous and points directly beyond what rigor alone can reach. There is no need to remember the numbers I am about to share. Just feel the direction of the ideas. Hawkins describes the way most of us experience reality as a linear sequence. A causes B, B causes C, like one billiard ball hitting another. And he says, yes, this is how the physical world appears. And it is not wrong. Science lives at this level, at what he calls the level of reason, which calibrates at 400 on the map of consciousness. You can see season 1 for episodes on the map of consciousness. This level of reason is powerful. It gives us medicine, technology, the ability to map and understand the laws of physics. But it hits a ceiling. Yes, it has its limits. And that ceiling is this. At the level of reason, the tendency is to remove data from the whole picture in order to study it. But Hawkins says the whole picture is what gives data its meaning. The observer's consciousness is part of the experiment, and the level of reason, in its brilliance, often forgets that. Now, it only gets more interesting the more you look at it. Hawkins offers a different model. He says that what we see as cause and effect, A causes B, which causes C, is actually the world of effects, not of causes. The real cause is happening in consciousness. He uses the image of a movie projector. The screen is the physical world. Events appear to cause each other on the screen. One thing follows another, sequentially. But the actual source of what you see is the film inside the projector, the light moving through it. The screen is a world of effects. The projector is where causality actually lives, and it is invisible. It is outside of time and space, beyond physical reality as we perceive it. Hawkins calls this the ABC model. There is an invisible pattern, ABC, that exists in the unmanifest, that is outside of time, and it expresses itself in our physical world as the visible sequence A, then B, then C. So what we experience as one thing causing the next is actually everything arising from a deeper invisible pattern, already whole. Now, here is where we could use help from the concept of synchronicity to better understand non-causality. Almost everyone has experienced synchronicity, like when you were thinking of someone and they called you. You needed exactly a certain kind of help and it appeared without you asking. You followed an impulse that made no logical sense and it led somewhere that changed everything. You sat down to create something and it arrived already whole. We tend to think of these moments as coincidences, little exceptions we don't build our lives around. Beautiful but unexplainable. Exceptions to the normal rules. But what if they are not the exception? What if they are the truth of how reality works? And the linear sequence, one thing causing the next, is actually the way synchronicity appears in the surface, like the way we perceive a piece of music note by note in time, even though the composer held it complete all at once. Hawkins says that At high levels of awareness, there is no distance between a question and its answer. Not because the answer arrives quickly, but because question and answer belong to the same pattern. They will never actually separate. The ABC was always whole. Time, the dimension we move through, is what makes it appear as A, then B, then C. Think of light passing through a prism. The light was always whole. The prism produces the sequence of colors. Time is the prism. So synchronicity is not magic. It is what becomes visible when your consciousness rises high enough to perceive the ABC pattern rather than just the sequence. You start to notice that things arrive together, that the right person appears at the right moment, that the episode you needed to make was already whole before you sat down. As I said above, this season of the podcast has been that for me. I did not create a plan for season 3. Each episode was arriving as an inspired idea that revealed the next. And looking back now, I can see something whole that I did not author. And no, no, that is not me being humble. That is me pointing at something real. The sequence was never mine to cause. I was simply available to receive it. The way a seed already contains the whole tree. The tree is not caused by the soil or the water or the light. Those are the conditions that allow what was always whole to unfold. The design was always complete. What changes is our availability to it. Now, I want to bring this closer to earth, because non-causality is not only a beautiful idea. It has something profound to say about how we live, how we act, and how change actually happens in the world. As usual, I feel inclined to speak from the heart here, because this is where my own journey makes the teaching real for me, and maybe grounded, useful for you. Regular listeners know that I am a social scientist. I spent years doing research in Colombia, Mexico, Canada, Kenya, and most prominently in Tanzania, where I documented what happened to the Ovinje community. Their land rights deceitfully rescinded, their territory officially not theirs anymore. From one day to the next, an entire people erased from maps and so far denied redress. I was trained to find causes, to bring the evidence together, to construct the argument that proves the injustice. And that work is real. Evidence matters. Truth and mapping what happened matters. But now, I know from the inside what Hawkins means when he says that reason hits a ceiling. Because you can document everything and still be operating entirely from the screen. To use the analogy of the film projector and the screen. The screen, no matter how accurately you describe it, cannot change itself. So, what does non-causality mean for a community whose land rights have been stolen, who has been denied peaceful existence within its ancestral territory, whose maps have been redrawn by those in power? This is where the teaching is most easily misunderstood and most important to get right. Action on the screen is necessary. Documentation, legal advocacy, testimony, bearing witness, all of that matters. By no means am I saying otherwise. But Hawkins asks a question underneath all of that. From what level of consciousness does the action arise? Because force, and let us take into account that oppression is always an expression of force, operates below level 200 on the map of consciousness. Everything below 200 drains the energy that gives life. Force is divisive, exhausting, and it always generates a counterforce. When the response to oppression arises from anger, calibrated in the map at 150, or from grief, calibrated in the map at 75, it is real, it is human, it is understandable, and it can be pure. Anger can move people from apathy into action. But if it stays there, it locks both sides into the same field. It becomes force meeting force, and the same movie keeps playing. But power is different. Power calibrates above 200. Everything calibrated above 200 is life-giving. Power is aligned with truth, with dignity, with what Hawkins calls the self-evident, or things that cannot ultimately be argued away, because they are not on the screen, they are in the projector. Hawkins gives the example of Gandhi. Gandhi was facing the greatest military force in the world at the time. He did not try to meet it with more force. He stood in what he called Satyagraha, the force of truth. Hawkins interprets Gandhi's approach as operating from a level of consciousness far beyond force, at 760 in the map of consciousness. And the British Empire, operating at 175, eventually could not sustain itself against that field Gandhi was operating from. The screen changed because the film changed. The collective consciousness of the India present at the time of Gandhi shifted from fear and subjugation towards dignity, and the material reality of the country had to follow. But let me elaborate a bit more on this, because I feel this teaching can be easily misread in a way that will be deeply unfair to anyone who has experienced dispossession or injustice. Non-causality does not relocate responsibility. The harm that was done to the Uvinje community and to countless communities like them in Tanzania and elsewhere is real. The injustice is real. Those who cause it are accountable for it. Nothing in this teaching changes that. What non-causality does is refuse to leave the community's power entirely in the hands of those who wrong them. Because if the only cause that matters is what the oppressor does or doesn't do, if change can only come from them, then the community remains dependent on the very force that was harmful to them. That is its own kind of trap. The invitation of non-causality is not to forgive what violates human dignity or to be at peace with what is unjust. It is to recognize that the deepest source of power available to any community, the level from which the film actually changes, cannot be legislated away, erased from a map, or denied in a legal process. It lives in consciousness, and that is always accessible. But really, what does it look like? Because in the case of the Uvinje community, the movie on the screen has not fully changed. There is still no political will to reinstate the rights. The system remains deeply corrupt. they continue to be treated as encroachers on their own land and are often threatened with eviction. And yet, something has shifted. After a 2014 attempt to evict the community using the military, they have not been forcibly removed. Not because the system became just, because visibility, alignment, and presence have made that outcome harder to execute without consequence. International attention gathered, the research mattered, the leadership on the ground has been extraordinary. At the same time, the pressure has not disappeared. It has adapted. Compensation schemes continue to be used to instigate division, to turn brother against brother. The field is being actively destabilized. So this is not a story of resolution, but of tension. Something holding, even as forces continue to push against it. And this is where the level of consciousness, or what they are rooted in, becomes visible, not in the outcome, but in the way the community stands within that tension. They are not organizing from hatred or separation. They are standing in something more fundamental. This is our ancestral territory. We have cared for this land. Asking us to leave is asking us to disappear. And that stance, grounded in dignity, the right to peaceful coexistence, the right to live in harmony within the territory, all of which have nothing to do with force, matters deeply. It does not guarantee that the outcome on the screen will change immediately, or even in the way we hope, but it changes the field in which that outcome is unfolding. Because sometimes the first thing that changes is not the system itself, but the conditions that make certain outcomes possible, acceptable, or invisible. This is not idealism or passive acceptance. It is recognizing that the most unconquerable thing you have is where you stand within yourself, your inner ground. No one can legislate that away, erase it from a map, or take it. And from there, action becomes power rather than force. It becomes the kind of action that changes what unfolds at its source, not just pushes against what is. Hawkins says something that stayed with me. We change the world not by what we say or do, but as a consequence of what we have become. And one individual rooted in truth and integrity can influence a much larger field. Hawkins presents this as measurable within his framework. Non-causality is a most empowering teaching. It is especially so for communities facing oppression, because it means the cause is not out there in what the oppressor does or doesn't do. It is in consciousness, accessible and impossible to take away. So, what does this look like practically? It begins with noticing what your actions are arising from, because there is always a sequence unfolding on the screen of our lives. Always an A, then B, then C, moving through us. The question non-causality invites us to ask is, from what state, inner state, are your actions emerging? If we are acting from fear, from anger, or resentment, all states that calibrate below 200 on the map, then the ABC pattern expressing itself through us is conditioned, contracted, limited by the distortions of a state of separation. It becomes force meeting force, and probably the same movie will keep playing. But we can turn inward, and from that place, grounded in love, trust, and the recognition of our shared dignity, a different ABC pattern begins to emerge. Not created, just allowed. To be a clear instrument is to stay present, to act with integrity, and follow what feels quietly true, without forcing what comes next, allowing a deeper pattern, one that supports life to unfold through you. And when enough of us do this, individually and collectively, we begin to create the conditions, like soil, water, and light, that allow a higher vibrational whole to emerge. And this might be what allows us to move beyond the limited patterns a conditioned mind has been repeating. A world shaped by separation, where power overrides dignity, and worth is measured by what we have, rather than by the simple truth that we are. And this is what I want to offer as the heart of today's episode. The shift from cause and effect thinking to non-causal awareness is not a philosophical position. It is what Hawkins calls a lived recognition, not something you understand, but something you begin to feel. It lands in the body when you stop bracing for what comes next, when you stop trying to manage the screen and begin to act from presence rather than from momentum, when what moves through you no longer comes from fear or force, but from something already aligned with what is true, with clarity, with dignity. That is when the movie changes. That is when the community and the social scientist finds its power. So I will leave you with this, not as a conclusion, but as an invitation. What if there is truth in what we have explored today? What if the thing you are waiting for is not ahead of you, but here, closer than you think? Not something to reach, but something to meet. Not something to create, but something to allow. You are not separate from that source. You are it. I love you all absolutely dearly. Me llamo Alejandra, and you have been listening to You Are It. Talk to you again in the first week of June. Rumi once said, "You search the world for treasures, but the real treasure is yourself." This is the essence of our message on the You Are It podcast. You are the treasure waiting to be discovered or enjoyed. You are the flame that never consumes itself and the light that shines everywhere. Now you are home. Please know that you are most welcome. Stay tuned as we look forward to sharing something of value on every episode.